Good morning. Good morning. What is going on? How's everybody doing today? MP, what's going on, buddy? How was your trip? I think you went. Did you go camping yet? Or you said you were getting the trailer ready. So maybe you haven't gone on on your beach. It's a trailer on the beach, right? I think you were saying. Sorry, man. I forgot, but how's it going? What's going on? How's your week been? Short week for most people, I assume. Um, Short week for me. It's going well. Most of you know from yesterday, I forgot my book, so I'm going to struggle my way through this one again. I'll just talk anything. Uh, Hopefully, we get the chat rolling today, and we have some conversation going. Might have a guest or a co-host with me, but haven't heard from any of the guys. So, you know, everybody's on a different journey, a different season this year, doing their thing. So who knows what's going to happen? Dude, that glare off the glasses from my computer screen bothers me so much. But anyways, getting myself distracted. What's up, Dan? How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I think your kids are out of school too. How are they doing? What's everyone's summer plans? What's going on? So we don't really have summer plans. We are not the type of parents or family that put our kids in a lot of camps or activities unless they want to. So we ask, we offer. If they don't bite, they don't bite. So as best I know, Bentley and Brooklyn have nothing planned for this summer. Bailey is in high school cheer, so I think her first practice might be today. But yeah, she'll have cheer practice. I want to say like 3 or 4 days a week, all summer long. With a break, I think there's a camp. They're doing something. I vaguely heard something fun about a cheer camp this year. Um, So yeah, that's our kids' summer. So basically Amy just they kind of go with the flow every morning. She said they were kind of just chilling yesterday, doing a little chores, waking up a little late. They jumped in the pool probably for a couple hours, and that's just kind of their vibe for the day. So it's a fun, relaxing summer that we shoot for, and then we have a couple of trips planned, as everybody knows, and that's kind of what we're after for the summer. My daughter is done with school June 11th or 12th ish, somewhere around there. Gotcha. Okay, so you're still in the mix. No worries, man. Um, so this is it's high school, right? 16 or 17 too? What's her high school life like? Like what's one of these days we gotta have see today's the perfect day where if we would have better communication in the back channels, uh I would be like, hey Dan, do you want to come up and chit chat uh with me and be a special guest and get to know each other a little better. Only planned is national. My daughter has been doing gymnastics since she was 5, now 15, and doesn't want to do it next year. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, national's going to be awesome. I'm going. Ryan and Blaze, we're all going. Uh, so yeah, that's going to be fun. I've never been, but excited to see everybody. I really don't care where it is. So yeah, excited to see you, man. And then that's crazy about your daughter. So yeah, I don't know how to handle that. My daughter Bailey she was in Rama for a really long time and then she stopped. But not that long. I think it was more like 5 to 10, 5 to 12. And so it was a little bit of a bummer. She picked it up again in high school, but I don't think it was the same in high school, so she has not stuck with it. She likes swim and cheer right now a lot more. So yeah, that's very interesting. I don't have much for you, but that's just the way I am. I don't obviously don't like to tell people how to parent, but I'm sure she has her reasons. I'm sure that you guys, have some decent amount of communication. You guys just talk it out and, figure it out as a family. And at the end of the day, I like to try to be along the lines of, I think back to, where I was at that age and like what my goals were. And then I also like, there's some stuff that Gary V touches on where it's like, you don't to have it all figured out at such a young age and say that you're gonna go and do what's up, Blaze? How you doing?
What's up, man? Good. How are you?
Good, dude. It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. What's
Still
going on?
alive and well. You just take a shower in your mailbox and then oh,
I
it's such a
never, I never, I never thought my mailbox would spur such conversation.
so random. I think everybody was expecting you to have a lot more stuff, and then
It
it just
was.
did it really look like your mailbox was that full?
I mean, there was 5 things. There was like 80 energetic electric eels in there. I think that's
Yeah,
significant.
but they're in like little padded envelopes. So if you have like a normal, I want to say that that was a pretty normal size mailbox,
Well,
but it was
usually,
just
like
it was just comedy.
when my wife and I are in a fight, usually it's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go sleep in the mailbox tonight.
At least you have that option.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't hear the kids screaming out there. Um, so you got all your stuff. Did you get anything special?
No, man, I have the worst luck. I've bought into like 6, 7, 8 different energetic electric eel breaks. And I've gotten all common cards and just 2 refractors. So,
Oh man.
um, in the hobby, they usually say just buy the singles that you want. So I'm like leaning towards that, but I think prices will die down in like 6 months. So maybe then I'll look at it. I don't know. There's not too many eel maxis, but I know there's at least like one or two.
Yeah,
So that's where I'm at in life.
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Is the eel in anything special? Like what's its special insert? Because I know every one of them has.
It has an iconic and a
Okay,
manga. And I ordered a manga in the mail, not like a numbered one or anything, but just to have. I mean, I'd love to have the rainbow, but I also like on my financial plan for 2025, it didn't have spending $3,000 to get a eel rainbow. So
I know it's so tough.
yeah,
That first I mean honestly like I it all coming down in like the busiest month for me like really helped my pocketbook like no other because I just had no choice. Like
yeah.
it wasn't a money thing for me or that I didn't want to collect it or that I didn't want to rip it. It's just time. Like I'm too busy right now to be distracted, so I had to do it. And then the added benefit is that like I'm not spending money right now and
Yep.
I'm not getting it because I was like you, dude, like I would be getting in trouble. Like I would be racing my wife to the mailbox. Like,
Ha.
I know there's a little bit of humor behind it, but there's also a little bit of seriousness behind
Oh
it
yeah,
where it's
100%.
like the wife sees, 8, 9, 10 packages and like and all the money on the card and the hammer's going down.
Yep.
Like I've been warned.
Um, man. So because I've been really good about my finances January to April. So like, because I finally started like writing down everything I spend on like not family stuff,
Yeah,
and May was the first month this year where I really like I didn't spend more than I could, but I spent more than I have in all the other months, and
gotcha.
so I think I'm gonna lock it down for June and buy nothing. So
Nice.
um, yeah, I'm trying to, and then the other financial stuff. So paying off my credit card, but I'm also trying to like
Oh, yeah, Robot Blaze.
things.
I didn't hear that last. I didn't hear that last little.
Maybe I need a
There you
Starlink.
are. There you go. You're back. You're good. Picture's a little fuzzy, but I hear the voice. Um,
Oh,
you
nice.
go.
How's demo?
Demo was good. Demo day was good. We knocked the house down, turned it into a pile of rubble, without problem. The neighbors were all chill. Everybody coming by, walking their dog was, interested, but not, overly nosy or complainy. Like sometimes I get these neighborhoods where they,
Uh,
like to complain about the trees getting torn down or the way we're tearing the house down and recycling and this and that and all that. Like the way we do it is, if stuff can be salvaged and recycled, we do take it out first, but then we basically just crush everything up and it gets sent to a recycling center, and the raw materials get separated and recycled in a way that they can be reused, and like we're required to do that. So
oh, it's great.
it looks like it's a pile of rubble being trashed, but all the metal gets separated, all the wood gets separate, like everything that can be reused, like it gets reused in a broken down sort of way, not like they don't take out the 2x4s, cleanly so that they can reuse them on another project. Like that doesn't happen. That doesn't work.
Uh,
So yeah, it looks a little wasteful and ridiculous, but we have laws that we need to go by in the cities that we work in. So there is a big form of recycling done.
awesome.
Yeah. So it was good. No problems at all.
What else is going? What's gratitude? Let's do some. I haven't got to do any gratitude. I haven't been with you guys in like a couple of weeks. I've been trying to just figure my life out, but I think I'm starting to get a nice rhythm going, which will end in 3 weeks when the kids are done with school. But
I was gonna say, isn't that that date's approaching to that all hell breaks loose again for a little bit
I,
until you get
yeah.
holy moly, look at that guy's hair.
Hey, summer break, Jason. What's up, bro?
Guys, I just had, I think, my top sleep night of the year.
Nice.
Don't
Let's
let
go.
me interrupt what you're talking about.
Oh man.
I think I'm a different person right now.
I think we know.
In a
Well,
good
Jason will
way?
start us off. He just told us what his gratitude is.
Guys, I got to tell you about this dream that I had.
Oh, let's hear it.
So this dream went so deep that I dreamt like I was another nationality and I spoke a different language.
Oh,
It
wow.
was somewhere in the Middle East. It started as I started as a teacher, but then like I was a teacher in the dream, but then I started like not bringing my stuff to school like a student, and then my principal walked up next to me, and he was like, "Hey, you got to pull your pants up." And then that transitioned into like I was like running around some muddy town, and I had to show some kind of proof that I've been in this place before, and I had to point to a time card that I punched earlier in the day in order to get a bottle of water to give to somebody. This was not 15 minutes ago that I woke up from this epic. I have to write this stuff down.
It was 15 minutes ago, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I woke up. It was 6:34. I'm totally unprepared for today. I felt
Oh
like
man.
most of
Join
our
the
talk
club. It's
yesterday,
fine.
Dom, I felt like most of our talk yesterday was like morning routine and stuff. I did none of that. So
Yeah. All right. There's always room for error.
but I'm still
Did you? So no one read today, right?
No, did
I
you listen?
read 60 seconds ago.
Okay.
Dom, I'm gonna send you an Audible copy. Is that okay?
If you want to, I was thinking about it today. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, that'll be on my phone at all
What?
times.
I have like 9 credits, so NBD. But today they talked about Florence Nightingale, And who better than me, the registered nurse in the group,
Oh,
to
yeah.
bring it up?
There you go.
Yeah, but they were talking about how Florence Nightingale, she's like the queen of hand washing. She introduced hand washing, which you think would be like, oh, we should wash our hands, but they didn't always practice great hand washing in medicine, and that was her big thing to decrease infections. And she comes from like a very like eclectic, like high ruling family, and
Hmm.
it was a time when women didn't really have careers, so they started with that, but what they focused on was like, you get to choose which stories you tell your kids. Do you want to focus on the negative family branches or the positive ones? You can choose the ones that are not great, or you can choose the ones that are, inspiring. Which, from some perspective, I think my kids should know of both, because I think it's important to have a full history. But also, just because your parents did something doesn't mean you have to do it that way too, or grandparents or great grandparents and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like to, when I'm referencing like choices, sorry, when I'm referencing like the choices that I made, good and bad, I always like to circle it back and tie it with a bow and say, everything that I did or didn't do, still led me to where I am today. So I like to, when my kids, so like Dan here, Dan was talking about how his daughter's wants to quit gymnastics after 10 years. And so like
Oh wow.
when my kids come up to me with stuff like that, I like to, and I was getting here with this with Dan. But it was basically along the lines of like, back in the day, like I wanted to be a pilot. Like that was my thing. So I went to school to learn to fly. And then one summer I got in trouble and I couldn't do that anymore. And so that's what got me into construction. And that's what got me into where I am today. That's provided a life for my family. So like my path was one direction, but then I made a huge mistake that completely altered my life, and it brought me to where I am today, right? Like so everything that is good about my life today is a result of like a mistake, like a number of different decisions that I made that brought me here, and like I wouldn't change it. Like I wouldn't want to go and be a pilot and then not have found my wife and not had the three kids that I had, and then not be sitting here with you gentlemen like having this conversation. So like you never know when something's going to change and branch in that direction, but at the end of the day, like you just got to be open to those opportunities and those decisions. It's like a weird thing, the way life is.
Yeah.
It's also, you can kind of choose what store to make that as well.
Yeah.
Like there's, when you're asked by somebody, or maybe it's like a question in one of those card games that Ryan gives us about like regrets. Do you have any regrets in life? I don't have any regrets, at least not like any big life-changing ones. Like I really wish that like my life branched off in a different way. It's never that. It's it's always like, I kind of wish I got like this thing in red or something like that. You can choose what story you tell based on your experience, and I think that also kind of references those Bruce Springsteen pages when we talk about ghosts versus was it
Ancestors.
ancestors versus ghosts.
Hmm.
Like I don't really know what happened with my family beyond my grandparents, besides World War II, Vietnam War, that kind of stuff. But this page kind of makes me wonder how I might tie that into like our family story or what we're doing now. To go back to your point, Dom, I guess my radical branch off was when I went into teaching, and totally changed my trajectory of what I wanted to do for like the first 10 years of my adult life. And I really like where I am now. Like money's tight sometimes, but Like I get all this time with my daughters.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's where my thoughts are right now, as I continue to wake up.
Blaze, what's your gratitude, man?
It's not raining. It's been raining here for like 2 or 3 weeks. I've been getting to do fun stuff outside. I got to do some yard work the other day, and I don't like doing it every week, but every couple of weeks, pulling some weeds on the lawn. I think just being outside is awesome. If you guys don't know this, where I work, there's no windows because the nursing school I work at is an old Macy's in an old mall that shut down. So there's no windows in the building, and so I just feel so like I'm in prison sometimes. I love my
Yeah.
job, but I just wish there was windows.
That sucks.
Yeah, that can weigh on you for sure.
Jason, you got windows in your
And Heather
classroom?
always makes fun of me.
I have a gigantic window, almost cathedral-like in my studio classroom, that like I can see the foothills and the Rocky Mountains. I've been pretty lucky with
Oh
windows.
my gosh, that's awesome.
My middle, the last school I was at only had 2 little windows, but every school that I worked at, my exterior door opened up to like where the soccer field was.
Nice.
Is, or like the resort or the courtyard. I have the courtyard open now, so it's very nice. I've been very lucky. Very my gratitude today is my windows. Sorry, Blaze. Totally opposite.
Well, I'll see you guys in a month. It was great hanging out. Just kidding.
I'm in like the upper part of this office, and it's very closed in. Like when I look in that direction, I see one window, but it just looks like, because I'm looking downward, it just looks at the street. So I just can see asphalt and cars driving by. So it's like, yeah, it's not a good view at all. So sometimes I'll open the door to get the sunlight, but even that, it just looks at the neighbor building, which is a upholstery company. They do like high-end cars, so there's always like Ferraris and nice cars parked next to me, which is interesting. It's very interesting to see. But yeah, I had gratitude for a second there. This is my first day being not hungover, so I'm excited to feel refreshed and go into the day
Oh, it's great.
living down those choices that I made this weekend.
Well, welcome back, Tom.
Profit, gratitude. I'm thankful for all the imperfections, the difficulties, the hard times, and the little things that make us us. Look at this guy. He's like a poet. If you ever want to see a jacked, handsome dude with a mustache recite poetry and philosophy while getting his flex on, follow Brofit. He does a morning show pretty much around the same time as us, right after us, on Twitch. And sometimes it's just so peaceful just listening to his voice and watching him do things that I don't want to do. The mustache is gone. Sorry, ladies.
And don't forget, ladies, the man stands 7 feet tall.
I can verify the no mustache. I did jump on with BroFit yesterday after our session here. Got to talk with Dom a little bit after the show. Just kind of, we just talked about like random things we weren't really sure about.
Yeah.
I feel like it was kind of like a weird morning. I was getting back into summer. Dom was still struggling with his hangover. And then I wrapped up my workout along with BroFit's. I did a little bit of his workout. It was one of those like core workouts where you're doing like hollow rocks where like just everything hurts and your stomach muscles want to give up. But I was kind of mixing his workout into what I was doing for my chest day. But yeah, if you guys want a good workout, BroFits is your man. And he's like, I just love how he just kind of like rolls with a conversation while we're working out, drops some great knowledge bombs on what exactly we're doing. So, so my second gratitude is to BroFits today.
He's definitely a
Love
vibe
it.
for sure. I popped in, but it's the weirdest thing. Like every now and then when I jump on a BroFit stream, it's glitchy for me. Like he like his voice pops in and out, and so I tried, but I couldn't hang for yesterday. So I'll try again for sure.
Don,
Go
you
ahead,
could have
Liz.
just rolled your chair out of the way and done our workout right there yesterday.
I know.
It was all the worst ab things that you could imagine. But it feels so good. It feels great.
What you got, Blaze?
Well,
Are you
it's
parked at
Wednesday.
Macy's?
I'm parked at Macy's. The sun's shining. It might rain later. Oh, we have a 6-year-old turning 7 on Sunday, so we have a rock climbing party, and only 6 of the 15 kids can come, but it's going to be great because that means more climbing time for everyone else.
That's
and I don't have to
awesome.
make as many party bags. So one of the kids that's coming though is my son's enemy. So I'm trying to be like, bro, you're in first grade. You can't have enemies in the first grade. So I'm going to try and talk to his parents and be like, hey, like, I'm always like, Bryce, we're going to do a play date with this kid. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to
Oh
do.
no. One kid coming as the enemy. Well, that's gonna be fun. Is that the climbing gym you go to has like the kids complex, right? Like the little kids walls where they auto belay and they're like kind of like fun and
Yep.
colorful.
There's like there's a racing one. They have a Tetris looking one.
Yeah.
And then just some like easier kid ones. So we usually like warm up there. But then bro goes on the big walls and like he can do like the like, you know, where it like juts out and you have to like adjust and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a beast. So you can start doing climbing competitions when you're 9. So he's gonna be like ready to
dang.
go.
Yeah. That's awesome. Love it, guys.
Yeah.
All right. We are here. Let's do it. We basically laid on the ground. Happy Wednesday. Everybody have a good day. Try to have as good of a day as Jason had asleep. Get your sunshine in, okay? Every time you're outside, think of Blaze locked in a office full of no windows, just walls.
Basically a tomb. Just kidding.
But he's helping people.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yes.
I'm helping people that want to help people.
There you go. He's a helper of helpers. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. And hopefully I'll get my shit together and get a reading. Why don't you guys, Jason, why don't you go ahead and text me tomorrow's? Text me a picture of tomorrow's reading. So I'm not to ask early in the morning.
Do you not have your book for the next few days?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going home tonight. Because just I'm strapped for work right now. I really got to put in some long hours at the office. So yeah, it's probably best if you just like send me the screenshot for tomorrow's. That way I don't have to ask. I was gonna ask anyways, but yeah. Thank you, everybody.
I got
Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. We love you all.
All right.
Mugs with coffee, heart with gratitude.
Bye, guys. Good to see you again.
Good to see you guys.